All right, y'all. So I see the time, and I want to go ahead and get this YouTube video posted up. So I did. They did add a couple new paintings. I don't think I remembered this one being here, and I'm good. How are y'all? So I want to show y'all. I'm not going to walk through, but I am going to sit up here so that way I can get the recording in. But all of this right here is new. I don't remember seeing this the last time I walked through. And again, I'm very sensitive about this area because, you know, of the history of it. But I still like to walk through because they do a really good job. And see this right here? This is new as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start since my clothes are working. I'm still going to, it's still early enough, that's why I got up and made sure that I was able to still sleep and still be able to get my afternoon walks. I'm going to record that too and put that on YouTube, but I wanted to get this video in as well because I want to keep, I know I still have one more day for rent and I still have other bills that's coming up, so I know that I still am not done with getting what I need to post it. So all right, so next we're going into, and this is public, y'all, so if it gets to the point where I think people will just be passing through. Now, if anyone's uncomfortable with being, I'm sitting at a spot where it's not showing anything, you know, out of the way, but if it gets to the point where I have to get up and readjust, I'll do that. Or if someone doesn't want to be in the camera, I can readjust too. I just wanted to give you guys a good view, so that way, because, you know, I don't have my letters, I'm out and about, but I still want to get this recording in. So now, we've come to the part of the book where we're talking about bearing witness. So it says, listening has not one but two purposes: taking in information and bearing witness to another's experience. And I'm going to talk about that briefly from my point of view. When people talk, just like earlier when I did my video, and I know I did some reflections on some past stuff, or when I just posted that vehicle in remembrance of my father. Now, and I didn't share that video for sympathy or woe is me type stuff. I'm accepting of the fact that when you spend money and you don't pay back, I understand the repercussions of that. But if I see something that is a replica of a memory of mine, I post it and I share it. That's not in saying that I'm still angry or bitter. Or earlier when I shared my reflections on how I felt about the situation, that's not sharing that I'm bitter or still angry about the situation. It's just me getting out those toxic feelings. And once it's out, like I said, it's out, meaning it's not coming back in, meaning I released it. I sent it up to the universe. It's like when you write a petition and you burn it because you want that to be banished away from your life. During the healing process, we are going to say things that we want to release from out of our system. If we keep things bottled in, we do end up getting sick. For instance, you know, family members of mine that ended up getting sick because bottling stuff, drinking, it's a time and a place. I'm not saying we can't have a drink, but I'm saying you can have a drink once you take care of what you have to take care of. Don't have a drink knowing that you are supposed to do your duties, like put in your work that you said you were going to do. Then you celebrate later. That's how I look at it. All day today, from this morning, early this morning till now, I have been taking care of my obligations. I have not been doing anything that's going to trigger my mind to get altered, to make another mistake, to further cause any more detrimental pain. I've been literally, I got in, because I was supposed to binge watch clothes, but I fell asleep. And I appreciate those who, allow me to do so without, texting me or sending me a bunch of different reminders saying, hey, get up, or, because, I have when people that I follow, whenever they post stuff, I do get notifications. I get notifications from my unit because we have a group chat. So we have a work group chat. I do put it on Do Not Disturb sometimes, or I'm not going to say sometimes, most of the times, because, I kind of am zen and I kind of want to keep to myself. But I'm getting pretty better at checking my notifications from time to time so that way I won't miss an alert. I'm also getting better with checking my emails. So, because sometimes I get vital emails, and if I don't check it, I miss, important updates. So I'm getting better with that as well. But this statement that I just read, listening has not one but two purposes: taking in information and bearing witness to another's experience. We'll say the active listening again. Once a person talks and you're the person who's in front of them listening, you are taking in the information that they're sharing. Hopefully, you're processing the information that they're sharing. Meaning, you're not showing apathy that we talked about earlier. Hopefully, you're actually tuned in to what is being said to you. And I know sometimes with other obligations or busyness that we have, in our personal lives, one would say that it's hard to focus, or I want to process the information that is being told to me, but my mind is, like, for myself, like, I want to say that all the time when I'm being spoken to or someone's talking to me, I'm processing the information. But again, that's not always the case. Now, there's a difference when someone, like for instance, that time when I was at the bus stop and that guy came up to me, he told me his story. Actually, I let him use my phone. I think a lot of you guys remember that situation where he told me his story, that he was homeless and he was trying to get assistance. Now, at that point in time, if somebody comes up to me, even though, y'all, sometimes I do look like I don't want to be bothered, because 9 times out of 10, I don't want to be bothered, I'm not going to lie, but because I just be focused, I just be minding my own business. But sometimes I feel like I'm like blocking, like, myself, or like, blocking a blessing by being, like, not open to talk to people, or being, like, not mean, because I do say it in a nice way, like, hey, I don't feel like talking right now, can you just, or I just basically keep it simple. I say, hey, I don't feel like talking right now, or I'll just smile, and then hopefully that tells that other person, back off, like, I'm not in the mood to really talk. But then sometimes, depending on my mood, again, sometimes I want to be chatty a little bit. Sometimes I don't really want to be bothered. It just is, it varies with the situation. But I'm trying to work on, like I said, because you never know. Like, I am wanting to venture out and meet people, but I'm so sketchy because people, especially nowadays, and now that my socials are public, I feel like I don't want to be approached just for someone to, like, leech off me or try to get in my business, because I've been burnt before by that. So I just I just try to be wary. I'd rather just hustle, do what I gotta do every day, and make sure that I'm accountable for myself. And I do that by just staying low key, staying to myself, because I notice that when I try to venture out and meet people, it doesn't work. Because people either, you know, there's a name for it. I forgot the name. It starts with an S, but I can't. It's not coming to me right now. I can't believe it. Let's see. Oh, there we go. People either slight me or they get what they want from me as far as like information, and then I don't hear from them again when I try to text them. And sometimes, like I've been told this before, that I tend to overshare or I open up too fast to certain people. But at the goodness of my heart, if people ask me a question and I feel comfortable around you and I share information, of course I don't expect, but again, this is California, y'all. This is a melting pot. This really is a place where people come to try to see if they can make it. And again, I'm surprised because y'all all know that I literally been fighting, not since I've been here, but since everywhere I went. Like, I literally just been fighting myself. Not struggling, but trying to survive, trying to make it. Staying on jobs that I really didn't necessarily was happy at, but I still showed up. And I'm thankful, like I said before, a couple videos back, that I'm thankful that I don't have to have those waitressing jobs where I have to nonstop be on my feet and just bus tables, because jobs like that, those were my go-to jobs that I had in the beginning, and having to keep that happy demeanor, and because you work for your tips, so you want to make sure that you're doing your job with a friendly, warm attitude, and you want to make sure that it's friendly, because people are going to tell if you're faking it, and if you're not really happy at your job, people are going to tell. So I mean, I don't know. I'm just blessed. I'm happy. I know there's going to be times where I'm going to record something and I'm going to delete it because I'm going to find another way to reapproach the recording, and to say, find another way to reword my words, because like I said, I'm not a perfect person. I can't help that I'm very direct, but I am tired of like the stumbling blocks and getting reprimanded for the way that I say things or the way that I do things, because I could very much still be myself. But like I said, in how I say certain things, and bringing up like past things. But back to what we were talking about. So when we're actually listening to a person speaking to us, or I'll use me for example. When I'm actually using my active listening skills, when someone's speaking to me, I do try to put myself in their situation. I do try to look at it from their point of view. I do try to think of it as if it were me going through that experience. How would I have handled the situation? And it's just important that we watch and say what we do, and keeping your word no matter what, because again, people only take you serious if you keep your word. No matter if you're struggling, like myself, like with my mouth, and I say certain things or I revisit certain things, because sometimes I do see memories of things. Things are going to take me back to special moments. So I kind of relive that a little bit, but I don't stay stuck in it. It's a memory and it's gone. Luckily, because I'm a very, again, I don't really have any emotion. Like, I don't really have sympathy. I have empathy, but I don't really. And this was always since a little girl. I never really had feelings like that, and I always kind of wanted to have feelings, but I just kind of was always indifferent to things. And I don't know, it's not from past experience, because it's been like this since I was very, very young. And I think that's why I did things the way that I did when I wanted to move out, once I graduated, and I wanted to be grown, that type of thing. I had a very rebellious spirit at a very young age, but I was always quiet with it. It was always a quiet, distant type thing, but it was always there. And people who know me know that I was not only different, but very, I don't know, spiritful. It was just always something about me, and I'm pretty sure people probably picked up on that too. Amongst the, oddity, there was also something quite unique. All right, so we're gonna go on, and when people tell you about their lives, it is reasonable to assume that that they expect you to pay attention and perhaps offer a supportive response. Of course. And that's how you can also tell if a person is listening to you based on their response and the feedback that they give. Also, we have to understand when talking to people, if people haven't actually been in the same situation that you have been in, it's not going to really, it's going to do you a disservice because they can't relate. They have never been through your situation. So they can't really give feedback from experience because they haven't experienced it. But still, sometimes all we do need is a listening ear. And then the rest, sometimes you just have to get it off our chest. And if a person takes the time to listen, then, that's good as well. So I'm going to move on and see what else. So this is a really good one, y'all. The more insecure we are, the more reassurance we need. This is important because if we're not confident in ourselves, we can't expect to get that confidence from anyone else. It's just like, leaving a relationship. It doesn't have to be a marriage. We're leaving a long-term relationship, or changing your friend circle because you just kind of want to venture out and do things on your own. I must say it does hurt when we decide that we no longer want to be in that insecure mind frame. We don't want to hang around the crowd that doesn't really boost us to be better. They kind of just are around just to be around, for the sake of being around, or around to see what they can get from you. And then if you can't offer them anything, they kind of just fall back, or go back to their regular circle that they always was running with from the beginning. It sucks when we find out that we were the only insecure one in the group, and that realization hits that maybe we need to change that circle of people that we surround ourselves with, or that environment that we surround ourselves with. And I think that's always why I feel the safest when I'm in, I think that's why I feel the safest when I'm in a gated community, or in a place where there's cameras, because that's that form of security. Because the area that I live in, y'all, it didn't used to always be the safest. I've heard stories about the area, but they've worked on it. They changed stuff, so they have cameras now, so that way it'll kind of keep the crime rate down tremendously. After the events happened, they did some reinforcement, so that helped with that. And it's also a guarantee too, because I live in a gated community. They can change the locks at any moment. They can change the code at any moment. Hell, they can shut if they wanted to cut off or replace one of the doors with just like a magnet strip, meaning have a key, or they can do anything with the type of system that we have, because they can either remove the keys and upgrade the system, and use a fingerprint system, or they can keep the keys, and then I don't know which technology now, the way that the system is set up, and there's cameras. So they can use like an automatic system too, since there's cameras already there. The possibilities are endless, and that was one of the things that I was looking for when I got that apartment. I always look for that sense of security because I live alone, and I don't have people coming over. Now, if I had people coming over, then I would be worried, because I would think that, people is in my business. I can't really sneak people in, but I don't have people coming over, so it's not like, I have anything to hide as far as that. So the security is definitely a plus for me, and I feel safe because, again, people can't walk up on the premises without having access to get in. So that's always, something that I look into. Especially living alone, anywhere. It doesn't matter the area. But, and I guess that plays a part in me just being confident in myself, knowing that, I might live alone. I might like to do things alone, but I can still put myself in a safe environment where I don't have to worry about, because we do know homelessness is not really as bad as it used to be, like when I first came here, but it's still very much a thing. So I don't have to worry about, even though the homeless don't really bother you, but I don't have to worry about people roaming up, the corridor, because there's no type of barrier for them not to get through. It's just always something that I've always looked at, because apartments that I've always stayed at in the past, they did not have a gate, or they didn't have security cameras. So it was kind of like, and I think that's why certain things took place, because there was no security cameras. And we can't rely on the security cameras outside of the premises, because of course, what if, they're not working, or what if we can't contact the person who can pull the tapes to look? And again, that was why a lot of things happened because, you know, I didn't always live in the best neighborhood. So people kind of take advantage of that if there's no, you know, type of security there. So the more confident and the more secure we become in ourselves, the more we up that protection and we carry ourselves with more dignity. I hope I kind of said that where it makes sense. We don't put ourselves in situations that could be detrimental to us. So y'all, with that, I'm going to end this because I do have to go ahead and check to put my clothes in the dryer. And I think to get some more content in, I think I'm going to walk around and try to get some more pictures out here once I put my clothes in the dryer. But I don't want to take too long on this video or take too long putting my clothes in the dryer because I still want to walk. It's still early, but I still want to get my walk in. I just wanted to do a quick little video so I can have this one posted as well. And then I'll post the other one of me doing my walk as soon as I drop my clothes off. So I'm going to drop my clothes off and then I'm going to immediately go ahead and start walking. There's not going to be any delay or anything like that. My phone is charged enough to get me by. I already got some rest, so I don't have to worry about, you know, taking a pit stop to do anything unless I have to use the restroom. But they have a restroom here at the laundromat. I can always do that when I put my clothes in the dryer. I hope that I said something that was useful. I hope it was kind of clear, if not all the way clear. I know I have background noise, so I hope you guys are able to hear me. I do thank you all that take the time to listen. Not only the people that I'm giving back to because they freely gave to me. They are the reason why I'm still alive, basically, because they're the ones that have the funding. They're the ones that have the resources beyond me. So I know that they're going to stay tuned in to make sure that I'm staying on the right path. Not only staying on the right path, but I'm saying shit out of my mouth. And I'll mark this for kids not to listen because I did curse. But saying stuff that is not too out there. Because I know sometimes, again, I can say things that kind of cuts really deep. That's a process for me. That's just how I could be, you know, I know I can tone it down with the harshness, but again, I'm not one to sugarcoat things because I don't want people to sugarcoat things for me. I like people who are real and to hurt my feelings because at least I know, for one, that you're a real person. You're genuine. I don't have to worry. At least I know where you're coming from if you're telling me stuff straight out honestly. I don't have to worry about you because I already know that you're not going to fake the funk with me. I may not like you because that you're telling me the truth or you show me that tough love, but I will respect you. I always would keep real people around. You need real, genuine people in your corner because they're going to tell you how it is. And they will, you know, put you in your place if you piss them off. Continuously, they will. And it's something that one might get upset about, but that's the only way you're going to learn. Sometimes people, you know, if they say do and you don't do it, especially if they're real and they're in your corner, people tell you stuff for a reason. And those same people who tell you stuff that you said that you wanted in your corner or you needed that support system that you didn't have, and now you're starting to find that support or you're noticing that you're getting that support, you have to do what it takes to maintain it, to keep it. Because like I said, people will leave. They'll stop investing in you if they don't see that you appreciate it, for one, or that you're not taking heed to what they're saying to you. So, some of us break a whole lot. It takes a whole lot longer for some of us to actually take heed Some of us have to get beat up a little bit more. Some of us have to suffer a little bit more before we realize that I have to make this shift permanently and not shifting, just for the time being. So with that, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and put my clothes in the dryer so I can go ahead and get back so I can start my walk. Because I do want to be inside before it gets dark. I still have plenty of time. It's like about 4.5, 5 hours before it gets dark. I'm not going to be going far away from the apartment, but I am going to get a nice lengthy walk in so that way that can count towards my steps. So I will be tuned in about, I normally drop my clothes for about 30 minutes, and it's about 30 minutes for me to walk back to the apartment to drop the clothes off. So once I put the clothes in the dryer, I'm going to walk around here and take pictures of some of the new paintings that I see, and get that posted while the clothes are drying so that way I can stay active while the clothes are drying, and then I'll continue from there. So I'll talk to you all a little later.